Have you ever wondered why the Soviets never built the equivalent of the SR-71? They had the mines pouring out the very precious material that Lockheed needed for their jet, they had the engines that could flirt with Mach 3, and they certainly had the motivation. Yet when the blackbird screamed over their borders, all the Soviets could do was look up and curse. Or did they? Because buried in a Cold War archive is a story that almost nobody remembers. A design for a Soviet Mach 3 spy plane. That on paper not only rivaled the Lockheed Blackbird, but may have even surpassed it.
For 24 years, the American SR-71 Blackbird pierced the sovereign airspace of the Soviet Union and its allies with impunity. It was a ghost, a titanium phantom that no missile could catch and no fighter could reach. But the Soviet Union was a superpower of engineering genius. They built the biggest jets, the deadliest missiles, and the most powerful radars. So, why did they never build their own Blackbird? Did they not have the technology? Or was there a deeper, more strategic reason they let the Americans own the ultimate speed record? Let's find out. Part 1: The American Challenge and the Soviet Response. The story begins with a humiliation. In 1960, a slow, high-flying American U-2 spy plane was shot down deep inside Soviet territory. Pilot Gary Powers was captured. The world was shocked. The Soviets were furious, but they were also smug. They had proven the U-2 was vulnerable. America's response was not to give up. It was to go faster, much faster. The result was the Lockheed A-12 and its successor, the SR-71. An aircraft made of titanium, designed to fly at 85,000 feet at Mach 3.2. The doctrine was simple: speed and altitude are life. Outrun the missiles, outfly the fighters. Now the pressure was on the Kremlin. They knew American spy planes were back, now untouchable. They had to respond, and they did. They ordered the development of their own supersonic spy. Part 2: The Soviet Attempt, the Sibin RSR. Enter the Sibin RSR. In the late 1950s, the Sibin Design Bureau began work on a Mach 3 reconnaissance aircraft. Unlike the Blackbird, which took off from a runway, the RSR had a different, more complicated plan. It was designed to be a parasite aircraft. A massive Tu-95 Bear bomber would carry the RSR underneath. At altitude, the RSR would drop, ignite its ramjet engines, and accelerate to over 2,000 miles per hour. It would streak across enemy territory, take its photos, then glide back to a conventional landing. On paper, the concept looked brilliant. It saved fuel on takeoff and relied on advanced propulsion. In practice, the complexity became overwhelming. Engineers struggled with high-altitude ramjet ignition, structural stress at sustained Mach 3 speeds, and guidance accuracy. The project faced mounting technical risk. It also faced a political problem. Part 3: Khrushchev's Choice, Missiles Not Planes. The deeper issue was political. The man in charge was Nikita Khrushchev. He believed the future belonged to rockets. This was the height of the space race. The Soviet Union had launched Sputnik. They fielded powerful intercontinental ballistic missiles. Khrushchev claimed the USSR produced missiles like sausages. He saw rockets and satellites as the foundation of future warfare and intelligence. When the Sibin Bureau requested massive funding for a risky manned spy plane, Khrushchev viewed the proposal as outdated. A piloted aircraft risked being shot down, triggering another diplomatic crisis. A captured pilot could create international fallout. A satellite avoided those risks. It orbited in space and gathered intelligence without violating airspace in the same way. In 1961, the Sibin RSR program ended. The Kremlin shifted full support to the Zenit reconnaissance satellite program. The Soviet Union chose space-based intelligence over a Mach 3 spy plane. Part 4: The MiG-25, the aircraft they did build. The Soviets did not abandon high-speed flight. They changed its purpose. Instead of building an offensive strategic spy plane, they focused on defense. The result was the MiG-25 Foxbat. When the SR-71 entered service, Western analysts feared the MiG-25. It reached similar speeds, close to Mach 3, but its mission differed. The SR-71 emphasized lightweight titanium construction for sustained cruise. The MiG-25 used stainless steel and prioritized raw power, radar strength, and interception capability. The Foxbat served as a high-speed interceptor designed to counter American bombers such as the XB-70. It also had a reconnaissance variant, the MiG-25R. While the Soviets lacked a strategic aircraft to overfly the United States, they fielded a fast tactical reconnaissance platform for regional missions. In 1973, Israeli forces observed a MiG-25R flying at roughly Mach 3.2 at extreme altitude. Surface-to-air missiles failed to reach it. The event demonstrated Soviet expertise in high-speed engineering. The difference lay in mission design, not technological ability. Two superpowers, two different skies. Why did the Soviets never build their own Blackbird? The answer was strategic choice, not technical weakness. Soviet engineers possessed the knowledge and industrial base. They also had competing priorities shaped by leadership. The SR-71 addressed a specific American challenge. The United States needed a survivable method to gather intelligence over heavily defended territory without triggering full-scale war. The Blackbird filled that niche. The Soviet Union faced a different strategic environment. Leaders prioritized missile forces, space-based reconnaissance, and air defense interceptors. Satellites offered global coverage without risking pilots. High-speed interceptors defended vast borders. The SR-71 became a legend. The MiG-25 became a legend in its own role. The Seabin RSR stands as a compelling what-if in aviation history. Two superpowers looked at the same technological horizon and made different strategic decisions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Cold War aviation, be sure to like and subscribe for more stories from the edge of history. Let me know in the comments, did the Soviets make the right strategic choice, or should they have built their own Mach 3 reconnaissance aircraft?